Hey guys, Kate Kennedy here with another layout for the Hip Kit Club. And for this one, I'm going to be using the May kit. I'm starting off with these Polaroid shaped pictures that I had printed at Origami. I've shared this before on my channel, but I'll put a link below. It's super fun to send your Instagram photos there, and they print them up looking like Polaroids, and you can get the map on the background, or you can get the like some kind of icon. I'm actually going to cover this photo with a frame, but I just wanted to show you what it looked like originally. I'm using one of these pink paisley frames here, and it's a little bit off-white and it has kind of a yellow border around it. So what I'm gonna do is make it so it's not sticky anymore, and to do that I'm using this like embossing buddy thing that you wipe over your cardstock before you emboss, and it keeps the embossing powder from sticking to places that you don't want to. But it's basically like cornstarch, I think is what's in it, or baby powder. And you can put it on the back of stickers to make them not sticky anymore. And let me tell you, these pink paisley chipboard pieces are some of the stickiest chipboard I've ever dealt with before. So I had to literally dump the powder on there because I don't want it to stick to the wax paper. So I'm just doing that, and then I'm going to get rid of the extra. And now you're going to see me paint it. I'm just double checking to make sure that that's what I want to do. And I do. So I'm using this golden titanium white. I first tried to use this Tim Holtz paint dauber, but that didn't work out. So you'll see I automatically notice that that's not going to get it white enough. I'm going to dry it first, apparently, and then decide. I thought I edited this video better. So my laptop crashed, was what I usually upload and edit my videos on. So I have a Apple desktop computer at work, so I brought it home because you can move them really easily. It's just one cord. I brought it home to do this video, and the iMovie, turns out that the iMovie on my desktop and the iMovie on my MacBook Pro are totally different. So this is kind of an experiment for me, because I really don't know how to do this. I had to Google like everything. I had to Google how to do the voiceover and everything. So bear with me on this. And I can't actually see what's coming up next like I normally can. So if I'm a little behind in my voiceover, that's why. Basically, what I'm doing here is deciding which papers I want to use. There's so many fun papers in this collection, and kind of building the mat there. And I've decided I want to use this like chalkboard background. And I'm not a huge fan of papers that have like a built-in sentiment on them, or like writing and stuff like this one does. And it kind of has the frame. I don't know how to use them very well. So what I've decided to do is cut down a piece of white cardstock and mount that on top. So as you can see, I just kind of laid out the layers here. I haven't cut them yet, and then I'll just go back and kind of cut them to size. And I'm going to make this a layout to where the focal point is in the center. Sometimes it's off to the left, sometimes it's off to the right. This one's going to be in the center, so I'm purposefully making it more of a rectangle because the photo is a square. And I want to have room on either side for embellishments. So, and it's not really I'm going to use an embellishment as a title, so that's kind of why I also didn't want the paper to compete with it by having writing on it. So there I have all my layers kind of figured out. And I really love this tag that says XOXO on it, so I'm going to use that. Now I've cut down my white paper. And I'm getting a Mr. Huey in inky black and just putting some black splatters on the background. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick down my layers. And of course, I ran out of adhesive, always on camera. I never run out when I'm not filming. So I'm just layering these papers up. And then I'm going to adhere the frame down to the photograph, and then I'll cut around it. And there wasn't too much extra, just a little bit. So I'm just going to trim that off. And then that's going to go right in the center. Like, I can't see what I'm doing next. That's the problem. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I'm going to take a border punch and cut this little branding strip. This is one of my favorite border punches. And at one point I broke it trying to punch out, like, I don't know, something. Acetate maybe, or something you're not supposed to use a punch on. And somehow I fixed it. Like one of my subscribers told me how to fix it. So I can't remember who it was. It happened a while ago. The video might not even be up. I should have like 300 and something videos, but I accidentally deleted like 120 videos one time. I thought I was deleting my history, and I wasn't. So anyhow, thank you to that subscriber who told me that tip of how to fix the punch. I can't even remember how I did it now. I'm going to put half of this tag up on dimensional adhesive because of all the layers underneath the top halves, just to make it so it's even. And what am I doing now? Oh, some of that ink like bled through. Actually, I tried to use India ink first. That's what happened. And it bled through, and then I started with a new piece of white cardstock because I didn't like the way it turned out. I need to figure out the white balance on this camera because it keeps going in and out. So I'm taking these acetate embellishments from Chic Tags, and I think I don't end up actually using them. I can't remember. I know that I fiddle with them a whole bunch, and then I get to a point where I think the layout's done, and then I start a whole new process. So I totally love these little paper clips. And so I stuck one of the orange ones up on the top. And I'm thinking about using some of this basic gray chipboard, and I don't even know if I end up using. I think I use those little arrows, but I end up using them somewhere else. I do use quite a bit of the pink paisley chipboard though. Putting these little yellow photo corners in the corners. And I'm thinking about, I actually do stick down these butterflies and the flower acetate, and then I end up taking them up. So I don't know why I did that. Because I'll tell you why. Because I wanted to have like a whole bunch of embellishments on the left and right hand side, like covering up that pink paper, because it just looks too plain right now. And that one little speech bubble just isn't cutting it. And so I thought that I would layer that acetate, but then I think about trying to layer all this chipboard, and then I just decide to work on the title because I don't know what to do, which is always what I do when I can't figure it out. And I put this whole title down, and I don't even end up using it. So I just fiddle around with it a whole bunch. So now I've moved on from trying to fiddle with that title, and I have decided that I need a whole bunch of pattern paper on the left and right hand side of this layout. So I start pulling out all my punches and just grabbing the pattern papers and punching a whole bunch of different shapes. I'm using a circle, a scallop circle, a banner, a bow, some hearts, some butterflies. They're a mix of Martha Stewart punches and Hobby Lobby punches, and I think one EK Success punch. So I'm pulling the little papers out of that basic gray snippets line that we got. I'm punching some out of vellum. This is going super fast. Those are butterflies and the heart, because this layout took me a really long time. I had made a couple layouts really quickly, and now I'm back to my hour and a half or 2 hour process. So I punch all those out, and then I just start to layer them on top of each other. And I just want to cover basically the whole left and right hand side with different embellishments made of the pattern paper. I don't like Ashley Laura, or Ashley Fowler, who's also a design team member. She makes these awesome embellishments where she uses a lot of similar punches. I think she has different sizes than I do. And she layers them up and makes these really cute embellishments with them. And it's kind of that idea, except she does it much better because she makes like individual embellishments, and they look like little completed things that you could put like in the middle of a page. And here I just basically layered them on top of each other and just tried to cover that pink paper is what I did. I didn't really want anything that stood out too much because I wanted the picture and the kind of XOXO good times to stand out. So I just tried to layer them so that they weren't, like, it wasn't one distinct shape, I guess is how you would put it. I'm not sure. So there I am, and I think that looks much better. And in hindsight, I probably would have done it on the bottom of the picture too, but I didn't. So now I think I'm going to get the letter stickers, the basic gray letter stickers. And I've never been a big fan of orange. And for some reason, I'm using these orange letters like it's my job. So these are two of my cousins, and they are twins, Jenna and Brooke. Or Brooke and Jenna. So I'm just putting their names along the frame. And then I'm going to add 3 little hearts from this pink paisley chipboard. And a couple of other little things here that says cutie. And then there's one that says best memories, I think is what it says. I'm not sure. And I use a little geotag, I think, from this basic gray chipboard also. Adding a few more splatters. And that is it. So here is the final layout. I'm going to show you a couple of close-ups and then one final shot. So make sure to check out the Hip Kit Club. And if you subscribe, use the code Craft and Keep. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you real soon. Bye.